What's up?
I even threw it.
All right, did it work?
Dude, it was a tag team effort right there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
How are y'all doing tonight?
What is up?
Excellent.
Oh, God almighty.
Queen, Hunter, what's good over here on the Twitch side of things? How's every little thing?
Howdy, howdy,
Gonna
howdy.
be all right.
We have Queen subscribing at Tier 1 for 26 months. Thank you, Queen.
We thank you.
All right, I see YouTube is very quiet as of right now. That's probably going to change very soon.
Wake that shit up.
Waking it up. All right. You guys ready for the show that we were supposed to do last night?
Well, we here now. There's no time like the present, baby. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
We're going back to back this week.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Oh, we got Lucas subscribing to Tier 1 for 15 months and also on a 3-month streak.
We love them streaks.
Yes, sir.
Love
yes,
the streaks.
We're going streaking.
No, we're not. We're not going to have a repeat of Sunday. We're not going to have a repeat of Sunday.
Days. 31 days. Isn't the streaking part of it?
No one said anything about streaking. No one said nothing about streaking.
Noopaloop, bring your green hat. We're going through the quad.
Has anybody said anything about loving the D? Has anybody said anything about that yet?
Well,
nope.
Except for you.
Nope.
Except for you.
Triple
I's not here. I got to carry on the legacy.
Triple I's got a couple shorts right there that have a few hundred views already on the Rocky Mountain Pro channel because of that.
Yes.
Hey, bud, we're having the greatest Eurocontinental champion on ever on Sunday night. Let's try and behave. Make a dick joke.
We jokes aplenty.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was a great night. How's it going, Grumpy on Twitch?
What's up, Grumpy?
Doing? Yes, phrasing. It was all about phrasing towards the second half of that show.
It was.
My God.
He never caught the memo. It's been 2 years. Triple I does not understand phrasing.
No. You and I have had a couple little things where we went, oh, wait, I said that. Yeah, oh, my God.
Yours was hysterical.
I've had a couple good ones. I've had a couple and where I just kind of looked and, oh, damn it, I said that. And then you gotta keep going.
We call those landmines because you know the click, you step, you're like, oh no.
But the
problem, it is a landmine, yeah.
But what was funny is that he didn't even catch on until like 3 minutes after you said it.
Well, that was when he had to get it off his chest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You just we're not. Watch the clips. Watch the clips. They're out there on Twitter and on Facebook and everywhere else. Go to the social medias and find the clips.
Oh, we are close to a hype train. We have Queen with 400 bits over on Twitch.
Better yet, go to YouTube. Check out the video. Us, D-Lo, rolling over Aces Wild.
Yes.
The whole night is gold.
It is. It was a great show. We had a real good time.
And if you haven't seen Aces Wild yet, number one, what are you doing? Number two, go to Fite TV, Fite.tv, order the replay, $12.99, and catch up.
You're making my life a lot easier tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome, my friend. You work too hard. Put your feet up.
Put my feet up. I'm ready for bed. I'm ready for bed.
Grab a brewski, huh?
It's my
bedtime
now.
Put your feet up, Mr. First Shift. Mr. First Shift.
It's my bedtime now.
Welcome to my world, Johnny.
I have a 4-year-old. My bedtime is whenever he says, or my wake up time is whenever he says so.
Fact.
4:30. That does come pretty quick. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At least you wake up to an alarm, not Dad.
All right. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Dudes and Bells Recharge Post Show here on Twitch. I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, as always. And boy, what a Fallout episode from Aces Wild, huh? There's a lot to talk about in this episode. Lots of stuff to talk about. Well, before we get into all that, of course, let's introduce the panel for tonight. On the top left, we have the one that lives way up there on the east coast of Maine, the inventor of the Lighthouse Grading System, the one and only Closer Crusader. I said Lighthouse Grading System again. I told you this whole first shift thing is screwing me up.
Listen, I invented that. I also invented the Beacon of the Week. We'll find out the Beacon of the Week tomorrow, but tonight we got to talk about a crazy Aces Wild. What an ending. Or the fallout from Aces Wild on Charged. What an ending. And we're going to have something happen tonight that we've never seen before. I'm actually going to agree with Caden Koyama.
Wow.
You'll find out. You'll find out.
All right. At some point, I will be able to say Beacon of the Week consistently now. I just need another couple days of
when you do,
sleep.
you'll be the beacon.
Probably.
Ah, there you go.
Probably. On the right, we have our resident masshole himself, the one and only Marky Pins.
Yeah, I am the masshole Marky Pins, and not only do we have all kinds of crazy stuff going on at the end involving David Drake and Sledge, we see Noel again as the marionette, as Salem's Asylum continues their hostile takeover of the RMP Lockets division. Tonight, we see Noel go one-on-one with Skylar Slice, big and formidable opponent. We're going to see how that goes for her. Tremendous match, too. A lot of really good matches on this card, but we'll get to those shortly.
And, of course, on the bottom, we have the voice of Ignition. He is the encyclopedia of Rocky Mountain Pro himself, the one and only Lucas Bradwell.
Guys, I don't know what to say about this past weekend. I don't know what to say about Charge. It's crazy. It's the start of the Vince Russo era again. Yeah, Vince Russo 2.0. And you could tell a lot of crazy things happened. And we had a return of a Rocky Mountain Pro star and his power-hungry wife making their return to Rocky Mountain Pro. So we've got a lot to get to, and I can't wait to get some things off my chest.
Oh, boy. Lucas is going to be on fire tonight. I have a funny feeling. Before we get into the show, as always, folks, if you are on Twitch, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow the channel. And make sure you're up to date on everything that's going on with Rocky Mountain Pro. And as far as YouTube is concerned, if you guys would be so kind as to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you turn on that notification bell to make sure you don't miss another Charge, Ignition, or Dudes and Belts live show either. Also, leave a comment during or after the show. Those likes and comments do help with the algorithm of YouTube. It helps gets this show and all other Rocky Mountain Pro content out there on the interwebs on YouTube. So we greatly appreciate you guys do that.
And if you like what you see, follow the social medias on Rocky Mountain, share stuff, retweet it, whatever you see out there. Make sure your friends see it.
Exactly.
Do the things. Do the things in all the places. No matter what place you're watching us at, do the things.
Yeah.
We ask, small ask, but please do the things. It helps us out greatly, and it helps us get some more pisser content out to everybody. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We really do.
All right. What we're going to do tonight, we're going to do something a little bit different.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. New year, new us.
Well,
I'm here for it.
Not so much. We're going to be doing a couple watch-alongs tonight, but we're not going to be doing any matches tonight. Because there's been a couple things that happened tonight in particular that really has caught us and everybody else in the RMP faithful's attention tonight. So we're gonna watch.
An understatement.
So we're gonna watch those, and then we're gonna talk about everything else that happened throughout the course of the night.
Okay.
But the first thing that we get to do is actually do one of those watch-alongs with you guys tonight, and is going to be the in-ring interaction between Damon Ace and Mercury Yaden.
Oh, there's a lot to talk about here.
Dude,
Yes.
you talk about a meteor landing in the middle of Denver at the Wimmer Arena. This was the bombshell, the stop.
Mm-hmm.
The whole fallout from Ace's Wild. My goodness, this was huge. Huge.
I mean, I knew Damon had some scumbag in him, but wow.
Yeah, he went there. He
Oh,
went
he
there.
went there.
If you know where there goes, that's where Damon went.
Mark, you and I are our dads, and we understand very much what happened there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, without further ado, let's watch this segment from Rocky Mountain Pro. Oh.
And there he is, victorious.
There he is.
Back in Ace's Wild.
Damon Ace.
Days ago, and now
In a
Damon
vile
Ace
position.
gets
If you're anybody else, in the RMP locker room, at least before you hear what he has to say. Damon Ace right now is in a vile position. If you are a champion, he has full rights and privileges to come after you.
He holds all the cards right now. It's terrifying.
You guys doing good tonight, huh? Well, let me tell you, okay, I'm feeling great tonight. Do you guys want to know why I'm feeling so good tonight? Because I did exactly what I said I was gonna do. At Aces Wild, I beat Bruce Wayans. And that now makes me the #1 contender for any championship of my choosing. The other thing that I did was change Bruce Wayans. I can promise you, after what I did, he's not going to be the same man moving forward.
You might have a point there.
But given that information, now that I'm out here,
very true.
I want to make
very
clear
valid point there.
What I'm going to do. I want Mercury Yaden, and it's not about the NRW title. This is about being the best guy in Rocky Mountain Pro, the best guy in the state, and the best wrestler, period. And that's me. And I'm gonna prove it when I beat you, Mercury Yaden.
Okay. Sounds like Mercury Yaden has something to say here.
Well, that's all it took to get the big man's attention.
You say his name enough, he's gonna come out.
I'm sorry, Damon, but that does not look like a very intimidated Mercury Yaden at all.
I mean, he did train him.
Correct. No matter what happens in any...
Then again, how many people have done this to Yaden before?
A lot.
This is a little different to me, guys. This one doesn't feel like the typical Steven Ashburn, Curtis Cole, Martin Casals. Oh, poor me, I don't get no shot. I didn't get that feeling.
Damon's a very different kind of that guy.
You're the one that walked out here. Do you have something that you want to say?
Go on.
He said go on.
Go on. Yes. Go on. That means continue. I just wanted to be out here for it.
Grumpy, this was the best segment I have seen from any promotion in a long time. I loved it.
That you and I may have
He's not wrong.
a tumultuous relationship. However, yeah, it's a big word you may not understand, but we'll get there. I do respect you, not only as a man, but as a teacher, as a coach, and as a wrestler. I said this the last time we stood in the ring. It may not make sense with who I am to say what I'm saying to you right now, but that's how I genuinely feel. This isn't about the belt that you wear. This is about being the best guy in this ring, and in my opinion, that's you. But if I beat you, then it's me.
Your obsessions are going to get you in trouble. You took your crack at me. You had an opportunity, and it didn't work out for you.
It didn't work out for you either.
I still have a title, don't I? And you don't.
You want to talk about obsessions? You're not going to tell me to shut up. You want to talk about obsessions?
Shut up.
Let me tell you about something about Mercury Yaden.
You can't understand anything we're saying. What do you want to tell him about me? The same thing everybody else has always told him about me. All of the things I've done wrong, all the things that I don't do right, all of this and all of that. It's the same stuff. They've heard this story before. People want to knock me off to prove a point, and then they leave and complain. That's probably what you're going to do. I've seen it a million times. They've seen it a million times. We're all all over it. You had your chance. You got a number one contendership spot. So go after the number one contendership spot. Go after David Drake. Go after whoever you want. You had your shot at me. Nobody's going to knock me off, and nobody's going to bang me out of here, David. It's not going to happen. So, move on. You don't need to be so obsessed.
Get used to it. You want to talk about obsessions? You're right. A lot of people do come out here and they say that you can't run this company, that you can't promote, that you're not a good teacher. In fact, a lot of people will say that you're kind of a piece of...
Whoa!
But I'm not going to say that to you. I'm not going to say that to you.
And if they say that to me, fine, agreed. I'm a piece of... I don't care. I don't care because I do run the company. I've continued to run the company. And everybody comes and goes, and when someone leaves, it's all going to fall apart. And it never falls apart. I respect you too. You're kind of a... also. But you get the job done, okay? You have trained with me.
Not
and
wrong.
when you first got here, we sat outside of the school
100%.
and tried to get to know you. And I got to know you pretty well. And I think a lot of this is a front and a lot of it is a facade. So get over your insecurities and just go after what you earned at Aces Wild and leave me out of it.
I mean, that's...
It's funny that you bring up the fact that we had a conversation outside of the school, because I got to know you pretty good too. Yeah. And while we're talking about obsessions, you are obsessed with this. This is your life. And because you've made it your life, you're here every day dealing with drama queens and people that don't really care about you or respect you. And in doing so, I've noticed at least that your daughter isn't here as much as she used to be.
Okay.
In fact, there may be a history of this, and I think it's just a matter of time before your wife gets out too.
Wow. Okay.
This crossed the line.
That's beyond crosses the S.
There's an inappropriate way of handling things, and I think this was definitely crossing the line.
Mercury is trying to, he's leaving. No! He crossed the line there.
And that's well deserved.
Absolutely.
Right there.
You're going to poke the bear, you're going to, it's going to happen.
This is getting personal, ladies and gentlemen. Referees are coming out now.
But to be honest, I think that was the main goal. Once Damon realized that Yaden wasn't interested and he told him you had the shot, poke the bear as hard as you can until you get a reaction out of the bear.
Yeah.
That's Damon's psychology. He always has been. It's how he gets what he wants all the time.
Yeah, Damon always knows what buttons to push. He knows what triggers, especially a guy like Mercury Yaden. He knows what triggers him. And you bring up his daughter, or if you bring up the family, of course. And that's usually what's going to trigger most people.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you take it outside the squared circle and bring it inside the home, inside the hometown four walls. Now you have a problem.
All right. What are your final thoughts on that opening segment on this episode after Aces Wild?
I mean, there's some truth to what Damon said about what he did. How often has Damon said he's going to do something at a particular event, and then he goes out and does it? The man calls his shot repeatedly, and 90% of the time, he is right. Then he crossed the line. You can say what you want about Mercury Yaden, the wrestler, the coach, the CEO of Rocky Mountain Pro, if you want, owner and operator. You leave everybody else and his family out of it. It has no place in a wrestling ring. They are not there. They are not part of this. Damon, you crossed the line tonight. You may have been right about some of the stuff you said of what you have done. You were dominant and you have that shot. Now be a man and do it the right way.
Like we just said, this is Damon's forte. This is his MO. He goes out and gets what he wants by hook or by crook. It does not matter. And he did everything he could to goad Yaden into that attack, to goad him into basically accepting a match, even though Yaden didn't. He just kind of attacked him and really laid the gears to him, which Damon deserved every bit of what he got. Something tells me even afterwards, though, Damon went to the back with a smile on his face because he got the desired reaction. Look, like you said, Coastal, to your point, he said a lot of truthful things. He said he was going to walk into Aces Wild and come out the #1 contender. He did. He said that Bruce Wayne's is not going to be the same. And after we saw the end of that match, I don't think Bruce is going to be the same for a long, long time here. He was on his way to getting Yaden to agree or to get him to at least talk if he brought it to the right way. Then he went where he shouldn't have gone, but it was the last resort. It was option like Z to do what he had to do to get Yaden to react emotionally, and he got it. Lucas, we see this time in and time out. What is different about Damon Ace going after Mercury Yaden after we've seen him go after so many people? What's different?
So Damon said something that I think is very important that might have flew under the radar. He said this wasn't about the NRW title, and I completely believe him. I don't believe this is about the NRW title. This is about being the best in Rocky Mountain Pro. And to do that, you've got to beat Mercury Yaden, because when all is said and done, Mercury Yaden is the heart and soul of Rocky Mountain Pro, and has been since the beginning. And so if you want to say that you're the best and the most dominant in Rocky Mountain Pro, you have to take out Mercury Yaden. And that's what this is about. I don't think right now Damon Ace doesn't need a championship to prove anything. He doesn't need. I think we all know that he's a monster. And if he wanted to have a championship, he could basically, I think, take any championship he really wanted. I think that what this is about now is he's thinking about something bigger to him. It's about being the top dog in Rocky Mountain Pro, and I know that having the Rocky Mountain Pro Championship means a lot, but I think to Damon Ace, taking out Mercury Yaden means even more.
I think he takes Yaden and he beats him. Not only does he earn his own moniker of saying that he's the best there, but he takes a little bit of that pride away. He takes a little bit of that, that honor that you carry. You know what I mean? Even though Damon does things in his own way, I think this is more of that violent intelligence that we see out of Damon, just going to places to get what he wants from the people he wants it from.
Yep. But what is his end game if it's not the title? This is what is confusing me. What is the end game here? I know he said he wants to be the best. Okay, well, isn't the best defined by who has the big gold belt in the company? Should you want to go after David Drake? Don't get me wrong. That's a matchup of psychopath serial killers I'd love to see as long as I'm very far away. But what is the end? Pride cometh before the fall, right?
But if you've been around for as long as someone like myself has been around Rocky Mountain Pro, you know that what Mercury Yaden, the name Mercury Yaden means. What it just, not only in Rocky Mountain Pro, but even in this region, what that name means. I mean, at times it's a controversial name. At times it's a lot of people are always taking aim at Mercury Yaden for different reasons. His name means a lot. It's kind of like back in the days when Hulk Hogan didn't have a title, Hulk Hogan was still the top dog. Even when he didn't have a title, you still wanted a piece of Hulk Hogan. That's kind of what this is. Even though he's not the Rocky Mountain Pro champion, he's the NRW champion. It's still it's Mercury Yaden. That name holds a lot.
He is Rocky Mountain Pro.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have Yaden in Twitch chat as well.
Yes.
And we also have the Remy D. Don't worry, Remy Triple I is not here tonight. I think.
Here's what I meant by that, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Yaden at all. What I mean is, this, for a guy like Damon, it seems like he wants all the power. And to me, if you have that belt, you're in the top seat. That is all the power. Yes, it's very much a statement if you beat a guy like Mercury Yaden. That is a statement and a half. But does that get you the shot? You have a shot now. I'm just trying to see a guy that has always been about having everything. and wanting all of the power in his grasp. This, to me, seems like an ego-driven move that is not normally a Damon Ace thing. He's very intelligent. He very often does things ego-driven. This just seems like it's going to get him in trouble. I think Yaden is going to use this. We saw Yaden attack him tonight, and that was a little uncharacteristic of Yaden. And it crossed the line. And I get that. Yaden usually, as we all know, has a very cool head. This crossed the line and lit a fire under Yaden. I think that's a bad move by Damon. He already had a title shot. If you wanted the NRW title, if you wanted Yaden, you had it. Mm-hmm. Why do you do this and give? And I'm an athlete, so bulletin board material. Why give a guy like Mercury Yaden anything more to fire him up? It seems weird that Damon Ace would, and I'm going to call it's a mistake. This was a mistake by Damon.
Which is really weird that if it is a mistake, it's something he'll end up paying for. However, if he has an end game plan, and this was like step one, well, actually step two. Step one is win the number one contendership. But number two is to goad Yaden into something far more personal than a title match. Then he succeeded at step two. And that's what scares me. Yeah. That there may actually be a plan here that actually involves him allowing Mercury to get on him and beat him up after him saying some really foul things in the ring. I don't know, man. I don't know. Something don't smell right here.
All right. Well, for now, we saw what happened tonight. I have a firm belief that this is not going to be the last time those two lock eye to eye with each other at some point before their upcoming match. Moving on, and speaking of Bruce Waynes, we will talk about Brucey a little bit later towards the end of the show because he's going to be featured on next week's Charge in a very big way, and we'll talk about that. And we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But moving on, because we still got a whole lot to talk about, so we're going to try and get a lot of these through here. The Law Office segment with Preston and Caden and Lola and Sky. The Sky was in this one. What are your thoughts about what you saw and the demeanors of everybody? There was a lot of emotion in that law office tonight. Well, last night, I should say.
There was a lot of emotion. There was some big ups for as Caden would call him, brother, because Johnny wasn't there. I don't know what he's doing. They said he was still at the hospital, but I think that might have been for more of his ego getting hurt than his nose. But as we saw, something wasn't right about Johnny on Sunday. But go watch that video if you want to know more about that.
No.
This is the part where I got to agree, and I said I was going to agree with Caden Koyama, first time ever. And I got to agree with him here. I do feel bad for Lola. Now, I understand Lilith felt cheated, but she still didn't win the number one contender spot. Lola should have had a one-on-one match. She should have. So I think Lola honestly should get a title shot against JC coming up. So that is how I agree with Caden Koyama. I'm going to do it less sleazy than Caden did. And then we have Sky Hossman. Margie, you love to fly. Wouldn't you love to have Sky Hossman as a pilot, huh? The Sky Hossman.
Not after he's been exercising his elbow for what looked like the last 4 or 5 hours that evening when they taped that, when they caught them at the law office there. Nah, he was definitely more than a few deep, and you know, the kid had a hard time. He put his title up for a shot against the Charge title, and Remy D took care of business. It was a fantastic match. Don't get me wrong, but Remy D is still your Charge champion, but now Sky Hossman is not the Ignition champion anymore. Preston is trying to keep this whole thing together. He's trying to point out, and we don't often say nice things about Preston because, to be honest, he's normally acting as something that you would clean off the bottom of your shoe.
He really does fit his acronym most of the time.
He does. But tonight, he's really trying to hold the group together by saying some good things about Lola, good things about Sky, and good things about JK Pop. And I get it. But Sky legit right now is kind of in a messed up place. You know, he got the drive for 5, won the title, cashed it in for a shot at the Charge, and it didn't work. I'm not getting on any airplane that he comes anywhere near. We're not even talking about that anymore. I don't think we've heard the last from Sky Hossman about the given situation, about what's happened. Tune into Ignition tomorrow night, and maybe we'll hear more from Sky Horseman. But at the same point in time, I got a funny feeling. I have a real funny feeling that the law office is in a little bit more of a shamble. I have to agree with the Coastal Crusader that I think Lola took the short end of the stick getting inserted to a triple threat. The president did everything he had to do to make sure that the card went on and the show went on, and that involved Lilith being in that match. So, to be completely honest, I think this is something that we have to look forward and keep going. Lucas, I mean, let me ask you a quick question here, bud. If you're Preston and you're sitting here and you had some ups and you had some downs in your group, like, do you think he handled it the right way, trying to keep everybody on the up, or should he be dealing more with each person, like, individually?
You know, he's a lawyer, so he's going to spin things in a way that's going to keep his law office going strong. And so, yeah, he's spinning it. And he's probably doing the right thing. He's trying to put a positive spin, trying to, take away from the negative things that are happening.
How's it going, Buster Guts? Welcome to the Rocky
they're not happening,
Mountain Pro Twitch
Preston, but
channel.
they're happening.
Really appreciate you stopping by.
But I guess you got a lot of good things to focus on. Obviously, they're still the Rocky Mountain Pro Tag Team Champions, and now we're getting to the point now where we're talking about, are they the longest reigning tag team champions of all time, not only in Rocky Mountain Pro, but in the history of professional wrestling? I mean, that's what we're talking about now. So. Yeah. I mean, that's literally, we've had this conversation. They possibly could be we're going to have to really do our research, but that's where we're going. So there's some good things to talk about, but I think eventually, if all the other distractions and the other stuff going on doesn't get addressed, I think it's going to catch up to Preston and the entire office.
I just had a vision of, you said longest reigning tag champs ever. I had a vision. JK Pop with Preston against Demolition with Mr. Fuji. It would be epic. It would be epic.
It would.
First off, I want to give a shout out. I want to give you a shout out to Just Your Average Jen, who is subscribing at Tier 1 for 29 months. What did you think I was going to say?
We gotta give an update on who's in chat, Johnny. Who's in chat right now?
Yes. We have a first-time chatter. We have Buster Guts.
Now wait a minute. Now Buster Guts, actually, he's a buddy of especially Mercury, Yaden, and Rocky Mountain Pro. So he's been on before. I think this may be the first time he's been on.
It might be the Dudes and Belts.
Yeah.
It might be that account.
Yeah. Buster Guts has been, we're trying to get Buster Guts to do guest commentary sometime. Come out here. He'd be quite entertaining, I'll tell you what.
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We raid Buster Guts quite frequently.
Yes, we do. What is your problem?
Marky, what's up?
Nothing. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing wrong. Everything's fine. Hi, Buster. Guts. Damn it.
I made myself fucking die. Hold up. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I mean, Triple I's not even on tonight, guys. Can you keep it together?
No, this is an ongoing thing that's been going on for a while.
I cannot hold it together. I can hold it together through a lot of things. I did a lot of acting and drama when I was younger. I know how to keep a poker face on. I cannot help but laugh when I hear Buster Guts. I'm sorry. I just can't. It's the best name on Twitter.
He goes full Triple I when he hears it. The only way to be better for him is if instead of ER, it was AH.
It is the best Twitch name. It really is.
It is the best Twitch name.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And it breaks Marky every time.
Because it usually comes out of nowhere every time. I can't. I can't.
Am I sensitive? Are we going to have a code yellow soon?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
You ready to go?
Sure.
All right. How's it going, Buster Guts? Really appreciate you being here. What? I was
Always.
just okay. I was being nice.
I know you said it again. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was coming. All right.
Channel your triple I here.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with Triple I. This has
Well, no,
nothing-
you giggle
I
like
have-
he does when you hear it. When he hears
I-
giggle.
I have pants on, and I have not once put lotion on, and we are golden. All right.
He's not
All right,
wrong.
what's next, Johnny?
He's not wrong. Moving on, we have our opening contest of the evening. No, actually, not yet. Almost. We have
Almost.
we have our buddy Lucas interviewing Manny Lemons backstage. How'd that one go, sir?
So Manny Lemons used to be a good friend of mine. I've known Manny since before the Lemons moniker. Brutal Bob Evans gave him that name, by the way. And back then he was a humble guy, a hardworking guy, and just a good guy to be around. Well, that certainly ain't the case no more. And I've kind of known this for a while, that things have changed. He's gotten a little bit of popularity. He's gotten a little stardom, and it's gone to his head. And obviously, you could see that during the interview. And and having someone like Rekha Tahaka, who's his wife, they're a power couple, and boy, do they let you know about it. And it's they're going to be a problem to deal with here at Rocky Mountain Pro. There's no doubt about it, and I'm sure we're going to, when we talk about this upcoming match, we're going to exactly talk about what kind of a problem they'll be, because Rekha, she certainly makes her presence felt. So yeah, these two, I'm not a fan of anymore, and I really, and especially what happened during this match, I really don't like them anymore.
Yeah.
Well, let's get right into the opening contest of the evening last night. Manny Lemons going 1-on-1 with Brew.
Johnny,
Yo.
was this really a one-on-one match?
No,
This was a 2-on-1.
I'm just
intergender
going by what
handicap
was on
match
the
against
paper.
Brew.
I'm
I
going by
know.
what's on the paper.
But let's face it. I mean, Brew comes out firing. He maybe is a little over aggressive, and Manny gets out of the way when he's doing the buffalo charges in the corner. But that's really all Manny needed here. Once he got an advantage, he made sure he didn't lose it, and Rekha made sure of that too. I cannot count the number of times that Brew would get in a corner and Manny would distract the ref, and Rekha would pound Brew in the skull.
Yep.
Either they were just conveniently hitting Brew in an area of which we know that he has issues, or they did their homework beforehand. And I got to say something, with knowing Rekha and what I've seen so far, I think she did her homework and knew exactly where to hit Brew, because it seemed like they were focused and targeted on that head area. We do see Brew get a little bit more in, but it's just too much. He's going against two people here. You can't take on two people and win. Unfortunately for Brew, and very unfortunately, I hope the man's okay, because he gets put in the corner and Manny just starts kicking him, and Brew goes glassy-eyed, and the ref has to stop the match. And I worry. And what's disgusting to me is that, and I mean, it's trash. She is trash on the outside, wraps that bow around his neck after the match is stopped, and chokes him after the bell. That is trash. Marky, is there any need for that? And then we think help's coming. You can touch on this when we think help's coming for Brew.
No, the man's eyes were in the back of his head. Look, it was a hard-fought match, and Manny Lemons came up and proved that he's got the boots, that he's going to come up and do the proverbial putting the boots to you every single match. And with Rekha on the outside, she's powerful as well as beautiful. She's going to be somebody that is going to have an eye kept on her, because every time you take your eye off her, especially the referees in RMP, heads up, boys, that she is going to involve herself at any point in time to help Manny out in this match. And that is exactly what happened here. So Brew is in the corner, dazed, eyes in the back of his head. Rekha gets on him again with the bow and starts choking him out with the bow while he's out cold, kind of. You're really just kind of beating a dead buffalo here for no good reason. And then we get Dr. Dredd Roberts, decides to come out. And what seemed to be him offering a little bit of honest medical assistance when when Brew does kind of come to his feet and sort of kind of get his senses a little bit, he all of a sudden he's in the ring and the ref's right there and Dredd's right there, and Brew's just pushing people off of him to get away from him. Let the man breathe for 3 seconds. Well, he pushes Dredd away. So instead of understanding, as a real doctor would, that the man's in a dazed state and give him 5 seconds, he just comes back in with a lariat that would have took any other normal man's head right off, and then just keeps going, chokes him out with the stethoscope again. So Brumac has gone out twice here by 2 separate groups of people. Lucas, you were there. Is Brew okay? Was he okay after this, or was he transported to a real medical facility away from Dredd Roberts?
He went to urgent care to get that checked out. It seems like everything's okay, but here's the issue I have, guys. Brew knows what the consequences are of him wrestling and potentially doing some worse damage. He knows that. But at the same time, when you are specifically targeting him and targeting a guy, I'm conflicted. I really think there's got to be a line drawn, and I think if this kind of stuff continues, I would maybe have to sit Brew aside and really talk about maybe he needs to sit it out, because it's getting dangerous for him. You've got people now targeting him. Obviously, Manny Lemons and Rekka Tahaka, it was at least during a match, so it's kind of somewhat understandable. But for what Dredd Roberts did, there's absolutely no need for that. And I don't know what the hell he was thinking. I kind of thought he was an actually good, honest nurse and somebody who actually cared about the health and well-being of others. Obviously not. So he's got some other kind of things that he wants to do here at Rocky Mountain Pro. Obviously, what he did to Brew, I see no need for it, and there's no excuse.
Are we all set with Manny Lemons versus Brew? You muted.
It's sad. Brew had been on a pretty hot streak as of late, and something like this can just derail a career. Not just a hot streak. This can derail a lot. We're all our best going out to Brew, seriously, from here to there.
And Dredd better run, because now there's a buffalo that has targeted him.
Yeah, that's a buffalo that's been on a mission ever since he came back, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Ask Damon Ace how that works out.
Yeah.
One of the few times you can say that.
Yeah.
But it can be said.
All right. Moving on. Commotion erupted backstage in front of Danger Dean's office. Looks like all the factions and tag teams were back there trying to get answers of some kind. What do you think about this? And also what Dean said towards the end of that segment. It looks like there's going to be an announcement next week.
Yeah, we're going to find out who's next in line to face JK Pop, I think, next week. I think everybody wants a piece of him. And I think we're going to have maybe a bit of a competition to decide who is the worthy tag team. Marky, what do you think Mr. El Peligro Dino has in store for us?
There's definitely going to be something, because now we have JK Pop, who really have gone through almost every, if not every, tag team in Rocky Mountain Pro. There has to be a new way to decide the number one contender. And every one of the tag teams and the factions and the groups were all banging Dean's door down. I mean, Sin Bodhi wanted to see the manager. He wanted to ask a damn question. You know what I mean? So there is a lot of questions that need to be asked, and there's a lot of answers, but I got a funny feeling all those answers can get grouped into what we're going to hear out of Presidente Peligro next week as he announces something in the regards of the tag team division. Hopefully a number one contenders qualifier, tournament, battle royal, something to the effect, because I'm sure JK Pop and Preston, everybody at the law office, is kind of curious who's coming after him next. But to be honest, if it was me and you, he'd come in like real close. I wouldn't tell him. I wouldn't tell JK Pop who's coming. Don't tell him. Just have him come out for the match. It's what they deserve at this point.
Lucas,
Guys,
your
I
thoughts?
saw a more frustrated Danger Dean than I've seen in a while. I think and to me, I think there's going to be this is going to be a little bit of a different decision by Danger Dean. I think I don't think it's just going to be I'm just going to name a number one contender or hey, we're just going to have some tournament. I think that there's some frustration or some rumblings about just maybe a little too much clutter in the tag team division. So that's what I've heard, that's part of his frustration. So I think he's going to kind of address that as well. So just be prepared for something. I think it's going to surprise you a little bit.
So,
I'm here for that too.
So we were talking roughly around this time a year ago, or last year, about how there wasn't a whole lot of tag teams in this tag team division. It was very light. Now, all of a sudden, at the end of 2022, going into 2023, I don't know about you guys, but I think Dean's right about this.
There's quite a logjam going on.
Right? You got the legacy kicking around. Your starting lineup has been on fire.
The circus.
Circus. There is so much going on. The OGs are back there.
The Empire.
Yeah, Team Chonkla, yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that want to
The
put their
island?
name in the hat.
Yeah, the island.
Boom. Boom. They want to put their name in the hat to go up against the Pup Tots, man. And every one of them is going to have some kind of case. But I don't think Dean's going to be able to go through one by one. Somehow, he is going to have to settle this. El Presidente is going to have to pass the order.
And
the fella's going to have to abide.
And it's a different situation because it's not just tag teams. It's one thing to have two guys on a team, but I mean, we have a lot of teams here that have the Freebird rule in effect here. So we have factions of 3 or more right now, and there's quite a few of them. So we'll see what happens next week. Very curious.
Very curious. Yes.
All right, moving on. We had some Lockettes action for you guys. We had Skylar Slice going one-on-one with Noelle.
Yeah, Noelle, or what Noelle is now. Noelle is very different now. And we see this right from the beginning. Yeah, Skylar knocks her down a bunch, but she looks like she doesn't really register it. She just gets up and keeps going. This Noelle is very different. She almost doesn't look like she accepts pain. It's like it's been talked out of her. She is going up against a much, much bigger Skylar Slice. And she is taking the punishment and then dishing it out. We see her trying to use all the moves in the beginning that we know Noelle to use. The crossbody, nothing's working, but she just keeps coming and coming and coming. And it's almost like she's frustrated with herself because she's not able to fulfill, I think, the wish that Salem Wolf has. Now we have all of the Asylum at ringside. JC is out there, your new Lockettes champion, Salem Wolf, and they're rooting on Noelle. And then we see the trickery take place.
Yeah.
JC gets herself involved. Salem gets himself involved. And then we see Noelle hit a move out of that cravat that just devastates Skylar Slice, and Noelle picks up a massive win here. This is a big win. We remember the dominance that Skylar had last year, near the end of the year, getting herself a Lockettes title shot, and then obviously not cashing in, but she was there, and now Noelle picks this win up. Marky, this is great and all with Noelle. Like, she's winning, but JC's already at the top there. So is this just more of a statement? Like, no one can even get close to JC?
I think that is the plan. I think that in Salem's twisted, vision of what he wants this to be, it is going to be JC at the top, Noelle doing his bidding, and should anybody get by Noelle by somehow, because we saw Skylar Slice really kind of put the wood to Noelle. Let's put it that way. There were a lot of high impact moves out of Skylar Slice, but you're right. Noelle just didn't register it, man. She just absorbed it and kept coming. And you could see there was even frustration in Skylar's face. I mean, half the time she unloads for a big, huge fall away slam on Noelle, and Noelle just acted like nothing happened. We see the beautiful, like it was like a power bomb almost, and then Skylar does a beautiful spinning leg drop off the bottom rope. I love it every time I see it. It's such an athletic move, and she just drops the leg, and Noelle just haphazardly kicks out like right at 2. That would have kept a mere mortal down, but right now, Noelle is not a mere mortal. Noelle is towing the line between that which is mortal and that which will never be mortal. So right now there was a lot of twisted stuff, and unfortunately Skylar Slice got caught in the middle of it. That move that Noelle unveiled tonight out of the cravat, I'm calling that the mind changer. Because at that moment in time, you get hit in the head like that with those knees, and I think you're going to change your mind about coming back and fighting Noelle again. Regardless of your size, regardless of your experience, there is no way your head is not vibrating like a drummer's cymbal when he hits it at the end of a song. That was absolutely huge. Very huge statement out of Noelle and Lucas for the Asylum as well, for not just for Salem and JC, but for Noelle's confidence to see JC and Salem accepting what she's doing and giving her
her confidence now, especially getting a win over somebody with the stature of Skylar Slice. Yeah, that's going to do wonders for her. It's not the same mindset, obviously, as it would have been if we had the old Noelle Summit, the juvenile delinquent. I think now now that since we've got a different, Noelle Summit who has kind of embraced this darkness and embraced the Asylum, I think now she is pleased with herself when she is pleasing pleasing the Asylum, when she's pleasing what Salem Wolf wants her to do, what JC wants her to do. I think now she takes some satisfaction in that. I think now she feels good that she's doing something. At least that's what it seems like to me. It seems like that's good for her, and I think the therapy that went on in the Asylum, I use that term loosely, but I think with the therapy that went on in there kind of helped her kind of be okay with that. I don't think the old Noelle would have been okay with that, but this Noelle seems to be fine with it.
Final thoughts on the Luckess match before we move on.
Or more of the same from the Asylum.
More dominance, and now it's Noelle's turn.
Yeah, I just right now I don't see how they can be stopped.
All right, moving on. Had a little backstage segment between Dax Draper and Curtis Cole over a freaking seat. You guys want to kind of talk about this just a tad? Because it looks like this is the beginning of something that could be very good for Rocky Mountain Pro if we see this match.
That'd be very good, yes, but Curtis Cole went full Karen Cole at this point over a chair.
Yes, he did.
A chair.
A freaking chair.
I mean, we know it's the chair, but come on, how insecure are you? He was talking about taking his spot. Man, Curtis feels like everyone's just trying to take stuff away from him, huh? Man, he is a salty dude right now. You could sit anywhere else, lead by example, man. Just go sit somewhere else and just do what you need to do. Just go about your business, but you make a giant scene. Then you take a cheap shot on Dak as he turns around after he gives up his seat for you. Like,
he was extremely nice the entire time, too.
Yeah,
he kept himself together.
I mean,
so
he gave Cole a little bit of the business, but at the same time, Cole is giving him all the business.
Yeah.
So if you're going to give it, you better be able to eat a little bit of it back, Cole.
It's not Killer Curtis Cole anymore. He's now Karen Curtis Cole.
Karen Curtis Cole. And then the cheap
here
shot.
we
when
go.
Dak
Yeah.
wasn't even- No, but it's legit,
Yeah,
dude. He was
come
sitting
on.
down. He was telling some old stories. It looked like Echo and Brew and a few other people were there. And it looked like he was just sitting there talking wrestling. If you're one of the young guys, you get to sit down and have a few minutes and a cup of coffee with Dak Draper. Who says no to that? You know, and then while you're doing this and kind of getting a little bit of like hanging out time, all of a sudden here comes Cole and starts making a stink about a freaking chair. Come on, guy. This ain't about the chair. This is about Curtis Cole worrying about his spot, not his spot to sit.
Insecurity.
Yes. Is that how you see it, Lucas, or do you see something different here?
Yeah, no, I'll give you guys a little insight onto the history of Curtis Cole and Dak Draper. Dak was instrumental in the training of Curtis Cole coming up. So, he took a lot of he took a lot of pride. Dak Draper did in training Curtis Cole and really, trying to mentor Curtis Cole. For some reason, Curtis Cole, I think, is I don't know why he's so bitter towards Dak Draper, but he is. I think there's a little resentment in Dak Draper. I think Curtis Cole's a little maybe I don't know if it's jealousy or what it is, but Dak Draper's went on and did other things in this business, done some big things, and Curtis Cole has held it down here at Rocky Mountain Pro and has been a staple in Rocky Mountain Pro since the beginning of his career. And I don't know if there's some bitterness towards that or what, but when Dak came back, it seemed to have triggered Curtis a little bit. And I think he's got some resentment towards people like Dak Draper, who had success and then went on and then now has come back to what he thinks is to take his spot. I don't see it that way. I think Dak is here because he likes it here at Rocky Mountain Pro. He likes the competition. He likes the product that we have, and he wants to be a part of it. That's what I see.
You're muted again.
Cole has just been like mean and salty and just on this mission for like 6 months now. He just hasn't been a dude you want to hang around in the absolute least bit. He's just somebody who's been walking around saying the most vile things that he possibly can. And outside of Rocky Mountain Pro, anytime he goes out shopping, guaranteed he's asked to see the manager 6 to 8 times a week. So this is just the Curtis Cole that we have to deal with now. And luckily, there's somebody like Dak Draper, who's a little bigger and a little stronger, maybe a little more XP'd too, maybe a little more tenured. That can maybe.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he's got 4 or 5 years on Curtis.
Yeah,
But let's not forget
that taste out of Cole's mouth.
Curtis Cole apparently does not suck at cheating, and he will go there to get the job done, and we know that.
That is true too, and I'm sure Dak knows that as well.
Yeah, just like we expected. There's going to be a lot of questions after this episode, that's for sure, and we're getting them one by one here. So we'll see what happens with Dak Draper and Curtis Cole down the line as we go towards our next big event. Where are we at here? Oh, yeah. We have Atiba versus Nathan Estrada here, and this is your main event of the evening. Before we start talking about this, I just want to send out a quick reminder to everybody out there that is watching. First off, thank you so much for watching the program. We greatly appreciate you. Also, if you are on YouTube, if you don't mind hitting that like button and subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of Dudes and Belts or Charge or our live Ignition show that is all interactive. You guys can interact with the commentators as the night progresses and as the matches take place. It's a pretty cool thing that Rocky Mountain Pro has been able to put out and put together for you guys, the RMP faithful. And also, whether it's during the show or after the show, if you don't mind leaving a comment on the bottom, giving us your thoughts about this past episode of Rocky Mountain Pro Charge or Aces Wild, or how we did on Sunday with D'Lo Brown, or if you want to talk about the time that Eyes almost kind of put us in a sticky situation.
Wait, you got to be more specific. He's done it a few times.
That's true.
Yes.
That is true. If you want to leave a comment below, please do so along with the like. It helps with the algorithm here on YouTube to get this show and all other shows out from Rocky Mountain Pro out on the interwebs for everybody else to see and discover and to join in traditional wrestling and great conversation here on this channel. As far as Twitch is concerned, you know what to do. Subscribe, you get all those emotes. Actually, as a matter of fact, Twitch specifically, you guys got a new emote in chat. There is a new JC emote in there. You want to check it out?
Oh,
Yeah. Trying to keep Twitch up to date also. So there is a new emote in there for you guys to enjoy if you're a subscriber over on
There it
Twitch.
is.
So make sure you hit that subscribe button and you get all those perks as well as ad-free viewing. All right.
Please do the things in all the places. Please do the things
in all the places.
Yes.
All right, main event time, ladies and gentlemen. Atiba versus Nathan Estrada. Hair versus hair, basically, or hair versus better hair.
This is absolutely fro v fro.
Oh yeah. This is fro on fro crime, and we start out with a pick off. We gotta love the pick off. Starting out, we're seeing whose hair is better, and I gotta give it to Estrada. Man's got. I mean, come on, he's 6'3" with the fro. Big dude. I mean, and then we have the match, and let's face it. I mean, Teebs has the size advantage, and Estrada does everything he can do. Here's the one thing about Atiba right now, and Marky, I think you'll agree with me here. He's powerful, he's big, he's strong. We see all this moving.
By the way, tag JC with that emote if you can
he's taking
on Twitter or something.
Even in the pin tonight, you look at him, he can't figure out which way he wants to cheat. He's got his feet up trying to get the ropes, and then he figures out he's too far away, so he just grabs a big old handful of tights. Estrada got ripped off in this match. He wrestled a great match. He hit a lot of high-impact moves. I really think if this is a fair fight, it is very, very close. It's a 50-50 coin flip. Estrada has come a long way since we saw him. Approximately, he debuted about this time last year. And we are seeing the fruits of him working, and he almost picks up a big win against the former two-time Rocky Mountain Pro champ today. But he can't, Marky, because Big Teebs finds ways to big cheat at this point.
This is what his game has become, no matter how well he's been performing in the match. And we see Atiba control the latter part of the match. Actually, not the latter, but the majority of the match, I should say. Estrada has his moments here, but Atiba has a way of cutting him off and keeping the advantage in his sights. Slow, methodical, heavy strikes, the multiple palm strikes while Estrada's down on the mat, big kicks and strikes in the corner. Finally, Estrada gets a little bit of room. Atiba gets a little too close. Big jaw break it right to Atiba's face. And then Estrada hits something beautifully. He hits what I'm calling like a face flattener. It was nice. It was like almost like a full Nelson, and then spin him and flatten him. And then a beautiful rolling leg lace right into an STF. And Atiba was dead to rights at that moment in time. He squeamed over and just got the bottom rope with a couple fingertips, man. He just got there. And then right at the very end, you see Atiba just kind of get behind Estrada and roll him up, go for the ropes, realize he's a little too far away. While the referee was almost at 2, you probably would have won the match even if you didn't. But then, like you said, Coastal, big fat handful of tights just for the extra added oomph, and Atiba gets the win.
Because he couldn't get his feet on the ropes.
Great match. Really, really good match. And Atiba doing the thing at the end that makes us go, but that's why. Like, whether he cares whether we're booing him or not, that's why nobody's cheering you. And when you look into the crowd, if you're Atiba, Lucas, right, and you look out to the crowd and everybody's booing you, and all of a sudden you're telling everybody to shut up and you think they should still be cheering you, how is this not an exact definition why nobody wants to cheer you anymore?
I don't even know what he's thinking anymore. It's almost like he's going out of his way to try to cheat when he doesn't even have to. Like, I don't know that he had to win that match. I'm a little I almost kind of want to disagree with you, Coastal. I think that he can out wrestle Nathan Estrada. I think Nathan Estrada is great, but he's not on Atiba's level quite yet. He's just not. I think if Atiba is just focused on wrestling and being himself, Atiba can beat just about anybody without trying to cheat. But you guys pointed out he didn't even know what kind of tactic he wanted to use. He just knew that he wanted to cheat somehow. So he was gonna, if it wasn't the ropes, he was gonna grab tights. He probably would have grabbed a foreign object if that wasn't available. I mean, he just, it seems like he wants to do it now. And it's almost like if he feels that if he doesn't cheat, maybe he's not being who he thinks he needs to be. I don't get this mindset. He didn't end up achieving his goal at Aces Wild. He's not the NRW champion, so you would think maybe that he would change strategy, but it seems like he's putting all of his chips in the cheating factor, and we'll see if it's going to be successful. He got the win. So we got to give it to him. He got the win over Nathan Estrada, but it's still questionable.
He's acting like somebody that like to steal a lot, not because you even need the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you walk into the store,
You like the thrill.
a thrill, right, of getting away with it. You know, you didn't have to cheat. I firmly agree with you, Lucas. I believe Atiba out-wrestled Estrada in this match. I think he was there for more of the counters, and he just showed a little bit more XP than Nathan did, taking nothing away from Estrada because he is very, very good inside the ropes. But I don't think Atiba even need to. I think he out-wrestled him, and even though he cradled him up, all he had to do was roll him up. But then he chose to do it at the end. This is why we booing you, Big Teebs. This is plain and simple, in black and white on the piece of paper. This is why we booing you. You're making the choice to do it, not because you have to, but because you think it's cool.
Are we all set with the main event?
Yes.
All right, because we got our last watch along of the evening, and it's right at the end of the show.
This is a pretty important thing to watch, though.
Before we get into that, we had D Hort 13 in YouTube chat. Atiba, straight up, is a punk.
Now? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's how he's acting. Yeah.
All right.
Pretty accurate description.
What we're going to be showing you guys is the ending of this week's episode of Charge. We had David Drake in the ring, and we're thinking that he is actually going to freaking say something. For months, we've been waiting on some type of sound or what he did and how he feels being the RMP champion or whatever the holy hell he's feeling at that time. Instead, we had an interaction between himself and the metalhead maniac Sledge. And boy, oh boy, did it get intense really quickly.
Yes, it did.
I'll show you guys
did not
exactly
take
what
much
happened.
time.
No, it did not.
I like
wild.
Sturdy's comment in Twitch, by the way, going on about Atiba. He says, hey, that's giving us real punks a bad name. Sorry, Sturdy.
Apparently, he's got something to say.
Well, he's got something to show, dude. He's got this duffel bag.
that makes me nervous.
I was really looking forward to finally hearing what has actually been on David Drake's mind for going on, what, 4 months now, 5, 6 months? It would be really interesting to find out what in the holy hell is on this psycho's mind. And I thought we were this close. We needed Lola's map to get to the X and find out what is on this dude's mind. But I don't think Lola's going anywhere.
This is only the second time he's had a microphone in his hand since he won that belt.
It felt eerie handing him that microphone. I had a feeling he wasn't going to say anything, but then at the same time, if he did say something, what in the hell was he going to say?
Well, we're about to find out, boys.
And the bag he come out with, too.
Just standing there. I mean, he's got the microphone in his hand. Cold, blank stare. Thoughts? What happened? Aces wide. Here we go.
That's a great shot right there. David Drake blocking out the light. All that is good.
He didn't even get a chance to say anything.
Are you going to speak sooner or later?
He doesn't know how.
Does he not? No. Because all you're doing, man, is you're just holding up the show. Yep. There's things that need to be done.
Like cutting his mullet.
Like cutting your mullet. You can sit there and stare at me with those little beady little eyes of yours. But I've stared fear in the face before. I've looked the devil in the eye, and the devil has walked away.
Wow.
I've seen what
Of
you have
that
done
line, I have no doubt,
in
Sledge.
Rocky Mountain Pro. And trust me, I'm the only guy in the back that's not scared of you.
Uh-oh.
Because trust me, the demons I look in the mirror every single day, you're not going to come close to that.
Wow.
There's one thing that has eluded me
Fully believe that too.
since I came back to Rocky Mountain Pro, and that's that championship right there. So what do you say? Me versus... I'm going to smack the crap out of you. You keep looking at me like that.
And then the lights go up.
Lights are
Yeah.
out.
Conveniently, right?
How did the lights go out?
The lights are out here.
Who shut the lights off? Who is in cahoots?
What is going on here? It's eerily.
I don't think it's cahoots. I think it's the aura of David Drake.
I'll go with that. I'll go
Yeah.
with that.
Are you kidding me?
This is the advantage you have.
Sledge is tied.
You're the champion.
Did you boys see that? He's zip tied behind his back.
Zip tied, yeah. Like industrial zip ties.
Yeah. Well, you need them. You see Sledge's arms, they're not most normal people's legs.
Yeah. Look like triple X size.
Helpless here in the center of the ring. Those hands zip tied behind his back.
There's nothing Sledge can do.
Those are some strikes.
I mean, seriously, that's one thing we've always given
Yeah.
David Drake credit for, is his striking ability. His punches are crisp and pure.
Is he the best pure striker in Rocky Mountain, bro?
I
Him
would
or
say-
Damon.
No, I would give it to Drake.
Okay, wait a minute. David Drake is making his way to the outside here. What does he have? What did he grab? Grabbing something from under the ring. A chair. Oh my God.
This is sadistic right here, by the way.
Just
He grabbed a
defenseless.
damn
needs to
chair
get out of this ring.
while the guy has his hands cuffed behind his back.
What a shot to the back here.
Sledge has
Yaden
no
does have a
choice.
wicked right hand.
Stop it to take it. Not another one. No.
I believe that too.
David Drake beating the hell
These
out
are
of
sick
Sledge.
shots.
Oh my God, we need some help out here.
Look at this.
And Sledge can't go anywhere.
This is shades of Rock Mankind.
Yeah.
Sledge.
We need help out here, but nobody wants to come out here and intervene.
And now it looks like Damon Ace is going to leave.
It's about time. Just get out of here. And Drake picking up
D-Lo
that.
called David Drake Damon Ace.
It looks like he's going to leave. Thankfully.
Alrighty.
He acts like
We
it.
need to get some help out
We
here
need
for
definitely
Sledge.
some help out here right
Those
now.
hands still zip tied behind his back. Wait a minute, David Drake taking pause. What's he doing here? Just go. Just go. Leave the arena, please.
Sledge is
Just go
trying
to
to
the
get
back.
up.
Wait a minute.
Oh my God.
He's got to. Come on. No, 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 no. Come on. We need someone out here now. Someone stop this, please. Sledge has no idea.
Oh my God. Wait, the show's we're out of here. The show's over. Oh my God.
No, 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 please.
And that is, ladies and gentlemen, how Charge ends. What is happening? Are we still live? Yeah, we're still live. Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. Well, was
Yeah.
it choppy for anybody else?
Yeah.
You guys
Okay.
completely froze on my screen, and I looked at
Same
my
here.
and I was looking at my stream, and I'm like, no, we're good. What's going on? So yeah,
No, yeah. Man, David Drake's influence reaches to our computers apparently as well.
yeah, no kidding, huh? That was kind of sketchy.
I am very, very worried about the state of Sledge right now. That was a very sadistic and gruesome attack. Marky, I'm going to skip over you for a minute. Lucas, can you give us any insight? Is Sledge okay? Like, what was the aftermath of that?
Sledge had to be seen by some medical personnel. He was taken to urgent care as well. His state of mind is what I'm more worried about. Sledge has been through a lot over the past year or so. Mentally, he's dealt with a lot of things. This was supposed to be, him kind of getting back to the glory of what he was before, and coming out, he was basically making a challenge to David Drake. I don't think he expected that. I think what's happening here is people are underestimating just how sadistic David Drake is. I don't think Sledge knew exactly what he was walking into. I hope he's going to be okay to return. I don't know what to think about David Drake. If he's capable of doing that to Sledge, who now, I mean, look at Sledge. Look at him. The guy is absolutely, there is nobody like Sledge right now, and yet David Drake didn't care one damn bit about that and still did what he did. I'm at a loss for words, which doesn't happen very often.
No, Sledge is looking like a mean machine right now, man. I tell you right now, he leaned up and bulked up, and he looks amazing. And you can't blame him for wanting to go after the top. I tell you right now, if Damon is going to go after Yaden, don't think for 2 seconds that Sledge wasn't sitting backstage seeing an opportunity here and came up and grabbed the bull by the horns and just came up to try to go get it done. And then Drake gets the lights off. Somehow Sledge gets cuffs, and then he absolutely gets annihilated in the center of the ring. Punches, and then the chairs, and then we see as the show goes off, the big lead pipe that Drake wields right into Sledge's back. I'm telling you right now, I got a funny feeling that this is going to come back on Drake. When Sledge comes back, all of this stuff, everything that just happened to him, he is going to return that favor to David Drake. I think it's going to take a little bit more than just coming to the ring, though, because I think Sledge is smart. I think he's wicked smart, actually, to be honest with you. He's going to pick a better spot in a moment in time when Drake doesn't have the advantage of the full ring to himself, like he did this evening.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a performer in the back, an athlete in the back, someone who is the size and caliber of Sledge, and you saw what David Drake did, what are you thinking after seeing that?
No
Honestly,
one is safe from Drake.
I think Coastal's right. I don't think anybody is safe. We've seen everybody that's tried to come to Drake's face to face be destroyed or be disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas, you're in the locker room quite a bit backstage. What's the rumblings going around the locker room?
There's legitimate fear, guys. Legitimate fear of where he's at in the arena at all times. There's people that they don't want anything. They don't want to have any interaction with him because they're afraid of what he's capable of doing. Think about who he's taken out and who he's beaten and what he's done. It started with Owen Easton. Owen Easton, guys, was a legitimate MMA fighter. A legitimate tough guy. And David Drake, we still don't really know what he did.
Owen's still
Bruce
MIA.
Wayne's, Bruce Wayne's another legitimate tough guy, a guy who's been in the MMA for a living. We're talking about a former professional football player, just a guy who's loses confidence. And David Drake was able to, I think, break the confidence of Bruce Wayne's. Now you got a guy like Sledge, who is, is big and is strong and is as sadistic as anybody we've ever had. And yet Drake just did the same thing he did to all the other guys. If he could do that to those guys, there is absolutely nobody he can't do that to. And that's what you have to be. Even somebody like me, I'm just an announcer and a commentator. I'm scared to death. Getting that close to hand him the microphone made me on edge. So yeah. I don't know what to say.
I think no matter who you are, if you're at ringside, you are not safe. No. Tonight illustrates that point to the nines. You are not safe if you are anywhere near that ring when David Drake comes out.
If you were Danger Dean, what are you thinking? That's your champion right there, man.
You contact David Drake through means where you don't have to be near him. You send him a telegraph, a carrier pigeon, whatever you want to do to say, hey, you need to wrestle this week. Just show up.
Dust off the old fax machine.
Yeah. You know what? Something tells me that Danger Dean's going to have his hands full in the next couple months.
I don't envy his job.
There'd be a lot going on over there in Denver.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. President Peligro is going to have to deal with.
All right. And as you saw, ladies and gentlemen, that wrapped up Charged last night. Final thoughts on the show before we start to wrap everything up here.
I can't wait to see what's going to happen next week. I need to see what Danger Dean's talking about in the tag division. I'm a tag guy. I want to know who's next in line to go up against JK Poopies.
Yeah, that's the project that I'm doing.
And I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of very, very good wrestling. Rocky Mountain Pro never disappoints with the action between bell to bell. We're getting a lot more questions than answers. We're getting a few answers, but those answers are leading to even more questions. What is really the end game of Salem Wolf in the Asylum? Where is Atiba really trying to take all of this? And this thing with Damon and Yaden is far from over right now, as we saw. There are so many more questions leading forward. I'm here for next week. That's what I'm talking about right now.
Guys, I'm excited for what's happening. It seems like on this episode, and what I've noticed when Vince Russo is around here at Rocky Mountain Pro, everything matters. Everything has a purpose. Everything that goes on, there is no segments that are a throwaway segment. Everything is must see, must watch. You can't miss anything. This is what to expect from now on when we're watching Charged.
We have D Hort 13 in chat saying, "Hey, just a note. Craig also beat the brakes off of David. What happened with Sledge out there?"
Well, in the match that Craig Farrelly had with David Drake, which was a freaking fantastic match, man. I'm telling you, Craig brought every bit of it. The lights didn't go off and somebody didn't get handcuffed.
Yeah, being handcuffed, I think, had a big thing to do with that.
I think that had something to do with, yeah.
If you want to hear our conversations about Greg Fairley versus David Drake, go over to the video next to this one when we were with D'Lo Brown discussing the main event of Aces Wild, and that was probably the match of the night, and I think a lot of the dudes can agree with that.
It
was my match of the night.
Craig Farrelly showed why he is El Rey Leon. He has that heart of the lion on the inside, and he brought it. So hard did he bring it, man.
All right. Well, speaking of everything that is coming up, obviously, tomorrow night we'll be doing a back-to-back. We'll be doing Reignited tomorrow night, same time, 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time over here on Twitch and YouTube as well, as we will be covering everything that happened on Ignition tomorrow. So, as far as I know, everything is still good to go. We're going with that same schedule. And, yeah, we'll be here covering everything that happened on Ignition, which will air live on YouTube at 6:15 Mountain Standard Time, which is 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we are. And
It's
that's
us.
when the pre-show and I believe the first match will begin at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Should be interesting, guys. Don't have an Ignition champion once again, so it's
it's
we're
two
back
spots
to how
now.
we were just
Yeah.
about a month or two ago. So it'll
Drive
be
for 5 begins again.
yeah. We've got guys. Hey, Brew picked up 3 points this past week. We'll have to see if he's going to be in any shape to compete this week. I kind of doubt it, but that'll be interesting.
There are 3 guys tied at 4 points right now at the top of that leaderboard, too. So there is some interesting shenanigans that are going to play their way out. Who are going to be the next 2? We're not looking for 1 anymore. Now we're looking for 2.
Also,
Very, very interesting.
Also on Sunday, because I believe there's no live shows this week, on Sunday we will have the Dudes and Belts Wrestling Chatcast show officially resume its normal programming after the review of Aces Wild.
Top 10.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Dudes and Belts will be returning to the top 10 area, I guess you could say, for one of our very special top 10 lists that we rarely do anymore because of issues that you will find out on Sunday.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Sunday is the issue.
Yep, that
You're
is
right.
just-
Sunday is the issue.
Top 10 on the Dudes and Belts is literally just a battle royal between the Dudes and Belts.
It is. We'll be going over and trying to select the top 10 upsets in wrestling history, which, by the way, Chet, you are going to be heavily involved for sure. We're going to do it just like we used to do back in the day, where we nominate the matches or people or whatever for specific spots, and you guys get to vote which match or person goes into that spot. So you guys will be heavily involved on both YouTube and Twitch. We're not going to forget about YouTube, even though there's a polling system on Twitch. We will have YouTube chat heavily involved also.
Make sure to tune in and watch Sunday Night Scream at each other.
Yes, and also
I'm wearing my stripes. I'm wearing the stripes. I'm just gonna do it. I'm not. Yeah.
So also we found out on Charge last night that there is going to be a big match, and we talked about Bruce Wayne's a little bit earlier on in the show, ladies and gentlemen. Next week on Charge, Bruce Wayne's versus Dak Draper. No titles, no nothing, just a straight up match. But however, if Bruce Wayne's loses this match, he is going to quit the company. And you want to talk about where his head's at right now? I think we just figured that out.
He's been having a wicked hard time ever since. To tie this back full circle, man, ever since that match with David Drake when he lost the title.
That shocked him.
Bossy has not been bossy. He just hasn't been feeling very bossy. And he hasn't showed you like that. He just hasn't been exuding that bossiness about himself. It just hasn't happened. He's been taking the short end of the stick.
He's been questioning himself a lot.
He
He
has.
never used to.
Messes with the dome. Really does.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, next week, I believe it's probably going to be a main event. Bruce Wayne's versus Dak Draper. If Bruce Wayne's loses, he is quitting Rocky Mountain Pro. And that is a huge, huge deal when it comes to Rocky Mountain Pro in general, because Bruce Wayne's has become one of the big faces of that company. And for him just to walk out losing the match, that's going to be a different scene, I guess you could say, in Rocky Mountain Pro without him being there if he does lose this match.
And it's not like it's against some first-year kid
No,
either.
it's not.
No. You went to the top of the ladder to find an opponent in a given situation. But I guess the thing is, you want to measure yourself. You measure yourself against the best. And this is what Bossy's going to find out where he stands next week. We're going to have to watch. I'll be there. The boys will be there. You should be there too.
Mm-hmm.
You should. And
I'll be ring announcing that matchup. So
that's not bad.
I believe
You got the best seat.
yes, sir.
I believe next week we go to the actual schedule that we were talking about last week. Charge should be aired at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 8 p.m. on the East Coast, starting next Tuesday. with the Dudes and Belts following immediately afterwards. So we are going to have immediate reactions after that match concludes. So it's going to be a big day on Tuesday. We'll see what happens. Other than that, I got nothing.
Huge match. That's a huge match to set
Very
up
huge match.
what's probably going to be another huge charge next week.
So yeah,
Be there. It's not even close.
They're going to be. Get used to it, guys. They're going to be huge every week now. I promise you.
Vince Russo, man. Vince Russo. Taking charge,
Bro.
baby.
Bro.
Bruh. All right.
Yeah, you're going to.
Bro.
There's going to be a lot of bro.
It's going to be part of our vocabulary soon, I think. All right. Ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, we're going to be signing off with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching again. If you like what you see, like the video, always subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single Dudes and Belts, Rocky Mountain Pro Charge, or Ignition Show, or any YouTube uploads from Rocky Mountain Pro, as it is daily, as always. And you'll be notified when new content comes your way. And over on Twitch, you guys already know what to do. Subscribe. Get that new JC emote that's in there. Work very hard on that.
It's there.
And you can only get it. And you can only get it with a tier 1 subscription. So make sure you sub over to twitch.tv/RockyMountainPro.
There it is.
Other than that, we appreciate you guys on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. For myself, Johnny Deathdrop, Coastal Crusader, Marky Pins, and Lucas Bradwell, the voice of Ignition. We will see you guys tomorrow night, as a matter of fact. And I can say that because it's still not even midnight over here for the first time.
No, it's weird.
I know.
Oh, my God. It's wicked weird.
We'll see you guys tomorrow night for another episode of Dudes and Belts Reignite. As always, folks, stay safe, stay classy, and we'll see you on the next one.